Hi, it's John. Welcome to my channel, EV Intuition, where I help you understand about electric vehicles. In today's episode, we're going to talk about MPGe. What should you know about it? How useful is it? Let's get into it. Before I begin today, I'd ask you, if you like the content I provide, please subscribe to my channel and give me a like and share any comments you have. Thanks. Now today we're talking about MPGe. That's an acronym that stands for miles per gallon equivalent. It was created by the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, to help us understand the efficiency of electric vehicles. Now we're all very familiar with MPG, which is the efficiency of gas vehicles or internal combustion vehicles. So what's MPGe then? Well, the EPA decided to create another metric for electric vehicles to measure their efficiency. We know that miles per gallon indicates how many miles you'll get for every gallon of gas, and it helps us understand the efficiency of a gas vehicle. But it also helps us to understand maybe how much range we have. If we know we've got a 15-gallon gas tank and we're getting 20 miles per gallon, we know we're going to get about 300 miles of range. So it's useful for two things: comparing efficiencies of vehicles and helping us understand the range of our vehicles. What's the equivalent in electric vehicle? If we understand the source of the gas vehicle, the energy comes from that gasoline, and we measure it in units of gallons. On the electricity side, electrical energy is measured in kilowatt hours. In fact, that's the same measure of electricity that you pay for your home electricity. If you look at your electrical bills, you'll see each month that you get charged per kilowatt hour of energy. So in the same way, electric batteries, which supply the energy for the electric motors in electric vehicles, it's the source of electrical energy. So you might ask, why didn't the EPA indicate miles per kilowatt hours? That's a good question. I'm not quite sure. But what the EPA did was they said, well, let me define what the equivalent amount of energy in 1 gallon of gasoline is in terms of kilowatt hours. And they came up with the figure of 33.7 kilowatt hours of electrical energy is equivalent to 1 gallon of gasoline. And hence, they decided to come up with this MPGe value, which tells you how many miles an electric vehicle goes on 33.7 kilowatt hours of energy. Given that, how useful is MPGe? Well, just like MPG, MPGe is a measure of efficiency, and it should be used to compare between vehicles of similar size. You don't compare a subcompact with a pickup truck for MPG, and in the same way you don't do the same thing in electric vehicles. If you're looking at similar size vehicles like a small SUV, and one has higher efficiency than the other, that's probably a better metric for that vehicle. So in the same way, it can be used to compare electric vehicles. And there are significant differences, as I will show you, between the MPGe values of certain electric vehicles. Now, the other thing to note is the higher the value of the MPGe, the better, just like in MPG. I'm showing you now the two electric vehicles that I owned. I previously owned a 2021 Ford Mach-E, and now I currently own a 2023 Tesla Model Y. And notice that on the window sticker, there's a portion of that window sticker that's referred to as fuel economy and environment. And there's a big number displayed. And that's the MPGe rating for electric vehicles. And it's a combined value. And notice the difference between the two vehicles, the Ford and the Tesla. And there's quite a significant difference. In fact, the Tesla Model Y is over 30% higher in value. And what's that tell you? That vehicle is much more efficient than the Ford Mach-E. Now, if the other important thing is to make sure you're comparing two vehicles of like size. And yes, the Ford Mach-E and the Tesla Model Y are very similar in size. So that shows you one of the advantages of the Tesla electrical system. The other thing you might want to notice is that there's a couple smaller numbers shown on the charts or on that window sticker. And one is they also break down that MPGe combined value into a city component and a highway component. And if you're observant and familiar with electric vehicles, you may notice the city MPGe, or the efficiency of an electric vehicle in the city driving, is better or higher than that of an electric vehicle on the highway, which is the complete opposite of gas or internal combustion engine vehicles. So that's an important note if you're not aware of that already. The other thing that the EPA does give on the fuel economy environment sticker is the number of kilowatt hours used for 100 miles of operation. And that's shown in the Ford Mach-E as 36, and for the Tesla Model Y as 28. Now for that number, the smaller number is better because you wanted to use less energy for 100 miles. So that's something to keep in mind on those different numbers there. But the key value is probably the combined MPGe. So use that to compare between electric vehicles only. You really can't do much between looking at the MPGe value and the MPGe values. To me, they're apples and oranges. Between gas vehicles, the efficiency of gas vehicles, and the efficiency of electric vehicles, there's not a real good comparison. And as I was saying, I'm not sure that the miles per gallon equivalent is a great number to have for helping you. Because remember, I told you that miles per gallon gave you two things. Not only did it give you the comparison of efficiency, but it helped you also know the range that you may have on your gas vehicle. In the same way, I think if you understand the miles per kilowatt hour on your electric vehicle, you could help understand maybe what range to expect on your electric vehicle. So let's take a look at some of the different values of efficiency that you can acquire from the MPGe value. As you can see from this table here, I have two values that we've already talked about, the MPGe and kilowatt hours per 100 miles of operation. Those two values are on the sticker, or the fuel economy and environmental portion of your window sticker. The other two things that I want to point out in this graph show miles per kilowatt hour, which I happen to think is a better metric for electric vehicle efficiency. And the reason for that is that may help you understand the range of your vehicle. For example, on my Tesla Model Y, I know that the battery capacity is about 75 kilowatt hours. Now, if I knew that I was going to get 4 miles per kilowatt hour, then I can multiply 4 times 75 and I get 300 miles. And I know, okay, if I'm averaging 4 miles per kilowatt hour, I'm going to get about 300 miles on this particular trip. And that, I think, is much more useful than, okay, I got an MPGe of 93. Now, what's that mean? So I like to know miles per kilowatt hour. Now, the good news is many electric vehicles, like my Ford Mach-E, gave me the miles per kilowatt hour as a reading on the screen. And so I could determine really my range. It did that conversion for me. Now with my Tesla, however, Tesla, for some reason, and I'm not sure why, gives me something referred to as watt hours per mile. And it's like watt hours per mile. And that's similar to the kilowatt hours per 100 miles shown on the sticker that I show. So what does that tell you? Well, you know that you want a smaller number for that. You want less kilowatt hours used for every mile. It makes it difficult for you to determine the range of your vehicle, like I just showed you with miles per kilowatt hour. But for whatever reason, that's what Tesla shows you. It doesn't show you miles per kilowatt hour on its screen. And so just to let you know that if you have a vehicle like a Tesla that shows you that, I use a particular conversion table in my head that helps me convert that watt hours per mile into a more useful reading of miles per kilowatt hour. And you can see this little conversion table that I have in front of you. I know that 4 miles per kilowatt hour is 250 watt hours per mile, and so on. So if you can remember these particular factors, then that will help you do the conversion if you have a vehicle like a Tesla or some vehicle that doesn't give you that miles per kilowatt hour. In summary, I think MPGe is a useful value for giving you the efficiency of an electric vehicle and comparing one electric vehicle to another electric vehicle. However, it falls short of helping you understand the current range of your vehicle. As you know, the range of an electric vehicle varies on temperature conditions. So I kind of want to know how many miles per kilowatt hour am I experiencing with my vehicle on that particular day? And that will give me a better idea of how long my vehicle is going to go on a particular charge. Well, I hope you found this video and this information useful. Please subscribe and look for other videos upcoming on helping you understand about electric vehicles. Until then, thanks for watching.